Getting reviews is crucial for a book success, but not all reviews are equal, and some are easier and more affordable to get. Which ones stand out the most? I'm Amber Campbell. I'm an indie author and a freelance editor, and let's dive right into it. For today's video, we're referencing fiction works only, which encompasses adult, new adult, young adult, middle grade, and poetry, which is what I'm currently publishing. Now, I know poetry can be considered fiction and nonfiction depending on what it is, but for our purposes, my poetry is not educational, therefore we're going to consider it literary fiction for today's video. Most new authors wait for the reviews to come in after the book is published, and I know because that's what I did with my debut, The Ones. However, a book tends to sell more in the first week and even the first month of publication when reviews are steadily coming in. But if you're a brand new author, readers don't know to purchase your work. Therefore, you're probably not going to get as many reviews as you need to be seen. 15 reviews is the magical amount of reviews that we've heard, and that's what Amazon has not quite confirmed with anybody, but it is understood that once you hit 15 reviews on your book, it's more likely to be shown to new readers on the site, and therefore coming into more reviews. For most authors, new or established, those review teams are crucial to establish the success of the book. Now, how are we, a new or unknown author, going to find these beloved early readers? Well, you've got two options, and one of them is much more well-known, I think, here on the YouTube space than the other, but we're going to dive into both. The first is going to be ARC reviewers. I learned about ARCs many years ago. I know it as Advanced Reader Copy, and it's something that usually publishing houses, in that sense us as the author, will send to our review teams so they can read it and write a review before the book actually goes live. Now they can post them nowadays on social media, Goodreads, Storygraph, or their blogs, or even vlogs, like here on YouTube, to help build hype for it before it goes live, and also to help push out the pre-order numbers, which again is another huge factor in determining how well a book could do long term. Now, pre-orders are not the end-all be-all by any means, but if you're looking after the coveted New York Times bestseller or even the USA Today bestseller, pre-orders are necessary to actually hit those numbers. A word of caution, ARC reviewers are going to be much harsher and more honest in their reviews than anybody else. So just keep that in mind. If you have not developed a tough skin just yet, maybe have somebody else read and relay those messages to you. The second type of review is going to be the editorial reviews. These are much more common on nonfiction, but we can use them for our fiction works as well. For most of us, if you look up best-selling authors, you will see that other authors have left blurbs of said books. But for us, especially if we're newer starting out, do you mind? Lola, squirrel? No, that's back to the topic at hand. The editorial reviews, while we may not have access to these other best-selling authors to blurb our books, we can get them from websites that are, some are affordable, some aren't. For today, we are actually going to be looking at ebook fairs and my experience with them just for getting editorial reviews and reader reviews. And also, in case you're interested in getting those author blurbs, you can reach out to colleagues who have already published to ask them to write a 1 to 2 sentence blurb. Or if you'd like to reach out to other authors on Instagram, other indie authors, you can. Again, I don't have any experience with that, but I do have experience with ARC readers, so we're going to jump right into that. So my first book, The Ones, did not have an ARC team, whereas my sophomore book, Missed Arrows, did. It actually had a team of 22 readers. The difference? 9 reviews on Goodreads with 2 on Amazon, 10 reviews on Amazon with 3 on Goodreads. So let's break those numbers down. I announced Missed Arrows back in December of 2023 and published it February 13th of 2024. So at the time, my overall author following consisted of about 200 followers on Instagram, about 110 LinkedIn followers who are mainly other freelance editors, so we don't even have to count that, and about 150-ish YouTube subscribers. All of my ARC readers came from a boosted post I did on Instagram back in December or January, And I'll card up the video up here. We did a whole deep dive into the results of it, and they actually were really good. I ended up spending less than $25, ran the boosted post for 4 days, and got those 22 reviewers. I ended up with 23 overall because I had a colleague jump in and offer to do that as well. But the 22 of them came from the $25 boosted post. And for early authors, I don't recommend spending a ton of money on promoted posts at all, just because you can't necessarily guarantee that you'll make your money back. Return on investment is huge. If you just want to publish 1 or 2 books for the fun of it, that's great. If you want this to be a business, you do have to treat it like a business. Don't put out $500, $1,000 for marketing if you've never published a book before and therefore don't know how long it will take you to earn that money back. However, I think most authors, new or even just unknown, can probably swing $25, $30 to run boosted ads to find these ARC readers, because reader reviews are so much more powerful than anything we as the author can say or do for the book. I do also want to point out that of the 22 readers, 9 of them left reviews on Goodreads, and a little more than half of them posted before the book's actual release on the 13th. That's about average. It's on par for the rule of thirds you may have heard from, individuals like Bethany Atazada or Self-Publishing with Dale, when they say that you expect 1/3 of whatever pool you have to actually do what they said they will do. So if you only land 10 readers for early reviews, anticipate only about 3 of them posting. If you get 100, expect around 33. I had 22, 9 posted. So we're about like 2.5. But the rule of 2.5 does not sound as nice, so keep your rule of thirds in mind. And then I'm going to go ahead and post some of the reviews on here. I largely received 4-star reviews, which I absolutely love. To me, 5 and 4-star equal value. They love the book. Some people don't believe in 5-star books. That is fine. I'm not here to change their minds. And then I actually got a couple of 3-star reviews, which I loved because they were very constructive and helped me to know things that I could actually improve for my 3rd poetry collection coming out later this year, but also to, maybe see if it was more of a topic. Maybe they just didn't like the style, not the style, but the theme of the poetry, which again, that just varies. But if it was something to do with the style that could be improved upon, that I did want to know. So either way, take everything with a grain of salt. ARC readers, odds are, will not ever post 2 or 1-star reviews. They would just rather not write a review, which I think as an ARC team, it's not something they have to do, but I respect it, because when I did ARC teams, if I came across a book that I would give less than 3 stars to, I just would not write a review of it. And I don't see the point in putting down, especially a brand new author who's trying to raise up their reviews. It's like, let a reader who paid for it write a more scathing review. That is not for me. But let's go into the timeline for these reviews. So I started asking for ARC readers 2 weeks from the end of December, I believe it was, and it ran until like January 2nd or 3rd. And then the first full week of January is when I sent them out to all 23 of the total readers that I had. And I sent them an EPUB file. I think some of them got PDF. But basically, there was a note in there that said, this is for review purposes. You may find typos. Do not copy this book and then publish it under your name, blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff. There's plenty of videos on that from other creators, so I'll let you go find them. Medilyn, Bethany Atazada, great references for that. On February 13th, so after I emailed them the initial EPUB and PDF files, on February 13th, I sent everyone again an individual email celebrating the book's release and to ask them to go ahead and put those reviews that they posted on Goodreads and social media over to Amazon so that the buyers could see it. Because not everybody who purchases books actually goes on Goodreads to look them up. I'm actually one of them. If there's plenty of reviews on Amazon, I'll look at those. Otherwise, if there's not, I go to Goodreads. That is an extra step. Not every reader wants to do that. So from that, 2 of them ended up posting. One of those readers did not post on Goodreads at all, but posted on Amazon, which to me was more important. And then the other one actually, I think, posted on Goodreads, Storygraph, and Amazon. So very grateful for those 2 ladies for that. But of those 9 Goodreads reviews, 1 found its way over to Amazon, which, again, keep in mind, these are not your employees. So while they may have said in your Google form sign up, which is what I did, that they will post to Amazon, do not, I guess, don't be too upset when they don't do it, because they're not being paid, and they don't technically have to. It is nice, but also keep in mind that for your ARC reviewers, you can choose who gets one. So if you notice the same person signed up, but you can't quite match their name over to anybody who else signed up or who wrote a review, you don't have to send them one. Other authors on here do mention sending out a follow-up email like a week or two after the book's release. I didn't. Again, don't really want to force them into it. I did create a Google Sheets where I try to keep track of, if the names lined up, and did that. That way when my next collection comes out, I will email them directly before I even ask for ARC signups. And that way they have first dibs. And so I know a lot of more established indie authors do this as well. Like, they don't even have to ask for ARC readers anymore because they probably have a team of 1 to 200 waiting on standby for their next book. Same with ARC street teams, which are the ones who show the cover reveal, who do little blurbs throughout it to build up hype, things like that. But basically, I just decided to trust the readers. If they didn't want to transfer their copy and paste it from Goodreads to Amazon, I'm not going to be mad at them for that. So I'm just reminding you guys, don't be mad at them either if they don't do that. Overall, an ARC team or even an ARC street team is a great and cost-effective way to land early reviews. So if you're looking for a larger team, this is a great route to go. If you want more of a guaranteed review, editorial reviews are a great way to do that. Or a site where readers can, what I'm thinking is actually lose their access to the story, which is where we're going to go into with the ebook fairs. So editorial reviews are often reviews that we, as avid fiction readers, don't usually bother to read unless one of our favorite authors wrote the blurb for it, in which case we're like, oh my gosh, so-and-so loves this, I'm also going to love it. Lovely, what is it, the it's a word up here, anyway. That relationship. Whatever, anyway. I signed up with ebook fairs, and I'll go into everything in a second, but I actually got a code from Self-Publishing with Dale that let me get a free month trial so that I could enter ebook fairs as well, like the actual virtual book fairs they do. But for the purposes of today's video, and also because I'm still waiting for those fairs to begin, we're just going to talk about the editorial reviews and reader reviews that you can get off there. So, first things first, what is ebook fairs? Ebook Fairs is an author service that allows authors to coordinate virtual book fairs to promote their book alongside others. You can have up to 50 books in a fair, and only one can be yours. Once the fair goes live, you and others begin your promotional marketing to reach as many readers as possible. This allows you to expand your direct readership reach by having your book be included in the fair that others are promoting for your book. As of today, as I mentioned, I've submitted to a couple book fairs, 2 actually. One started today. If I can figure out the link, if there's voting, I don't know. I'll link it down below. Otherwise, we're going to look at their reader service. So you can submit your book ahead of its release, which is what they recommend and which I did not do, or you can submit it afterwards. Normally, it's $9.99 a month, which is not unreasonable at all, especially if you want to do it for like the month or 2 before release and then leave and then come back for the next one. You can do that. It doesn't have to be, you're not locked in for a year, basically. And you can enter an unlimited amount of fairs. So when I first signed up, I think there were about 15 going on. And you can set up your own. I haven't done that yet either. I would love to. But the editorial reviews, you submit 1 book at a time for up to 5. So I submitted Missed Arrows on February 26th for reader and editorial reviews. And within 25 hours, all 5 of my spots have been claimed. I know Self-Publishing with Andy talked about this on Self-Publishing with Dale's channel, where he did not set it so that he needs to approve the readers, and he said he regrets that because you can't really guarantee that they read your genre. Poetry's very niche. I need to make sure they read it. I didn't. I wanted to see what happened. So that's what we did. They were all taken within 24 hours, and the first review came in about a week later. And since February 26th, today is March 13th, 3 reviews have come in. They are all 5 stars, but they're a little questionable. So as I mentioned, all of them were 5-star reviews, but the writing was nowhere near as polished as my ARC reviewers. I had to fix quite a bit of the sentence structure, not to change the review, but so it was more understandable. So for example, I'm going to post it up here on the screen, word for word, what I received from the reviewer. Missed Arrows is a piece that speaks some hard truths and painful realities in love. A particular poem with a famous Bible verse is on spot. It reminds of first love heartbreak into paper, pouring it out. It discusses forgiveness significantly and its essence in love. This book has lots of something that is truly admiring. Now, English may not be their first language, in which case that is fine. I did change some of it over on the Amazon editorial reviews, again, posted up above. So I changed it to like, it reminds me of, and heartbreak pouring out into paper, keeping as many of the original words as I could, just trying to help it with the readability. However, I also worry that this could have been written by AI, and eBook Fairs does have a option on there that you can say whether you think someone read it or not. So there is a famous Bible verse. There's a couple references in there. The one they're talking about is love is patient, love is kind. So that's what I'm assuming, which is also in like the first 15 pages of this collection. So I don't have any reason to believe they didn't read it, but AI could have written this. In which case, again, it's a reviewer. You don't really have control over that. But because these are editorial reviews, I felt the need just to clean it up so it's easier to read. I don't know if that's like a huge red flag or not for the editorial review section. It is something that I'll probably consider using more for advertisement marketing purposes versus maybe including them as editorial reviews. I do have the 3 of them up on my Amazon page right now for Missed Arrows, just to have them a little bit more bulk because there's only 2 reviews. But it is for free, the one that I got, so I took what I received. I really wasn't going to be, greatly disappointed. But for $10, you can go ahead and test out for a couple months, see how it goes, see if you get anything out of the fairs, see how the reviews come in for your book. Just keep in mind, one book has to be done for reviews at a time. So I'm still waiting on 2 other reviews. I can't post the ones on there at all until those 2 come in. I could see if I can close it manually. Haven't tried that yet. Also, really quick before I forget, I will be posting a video about my experiences with ebook fairs, virtual fairs, to see if it affected my sales at all, if I got some more notice for it, things like that. But the most important note is for your ARC team. Goodreads does not care what they say. Social media, blog, it's fine. Amazon has been very active in deleting reviews if they say this book was received as an early copy, a review copy, in exchange for honest review, for free from the author. Let your reviewers know this line cannot be included because Amazon is deleting them. I don't know if that had something to do with my readers not wanting to copy and paste it over, or if they did and did not pay attention to that and copy and pasted it and it never actually stuck. I don't know. But just keep that in mind. This is a new-ish problem. I know authors started posting about this either the end of January or February. I'm not sure when. But otherwise, what they say on any of the other sites, nobody seems to care, and it's kind of expected that there should be ARC reviewers on a book when it's published because that's what all the big authors do. So, let's just break this down real quick. Finding early reviews does not need to be complicated or expensive. I know that there are other services out there, like, I'm going to post them on screen. These are all where you pay a monthly subscription, and they will find the early readers, they will send them out the PDF and EPUB files, they'll organize the emails, they'll do everything for you. I only had 22 reviewers. I think it took me maybe an hour between getting all the emails written and sent out and then sending them out again. And then, so for me, spending $25 of my own money to actually find the readers and then do everything was great. If you're someone who maybe is expecting more readers, like if you write romance or fantasy, odds are you'll get a lot more ARC readers interested than for, with me in poetry. So that may be something worth it to check out for you. But if you set a budget of $25 or even $50, and between these 2 methods, you could potentially see 30 to 45 reviewers, more depending on the genre, I think that's really affordable, and it's something that you can expect to make back relatively soon from your book, should it do well. So, remember, the magic number is 15. If you can get 15 reviews on Amazon within the first 7 to 14 days, you will be golden, and you will be setting your book up for success the best way possible. If you have other methods for getting early reviewers, please let me know down in the comments so I can check them out and I can test them out, but also so our other viewers can see that as well. And my third manuscript is coming along really well. I expect to have it published in August. We will see. I'm submitting it to a copy editor next month, which is really exciting, and I need to catch up on all my editorial jobs so I can actually edit my own manuscript. But as I mentioned, if you have not checked out my books already, the ones, as I drop them on my face, Family, Grief, and Finding Peace Poetry. Can you tell I wrote this? Missed Arrows, Love, Loss, and Loser Exes. So, very much more serious, but still a little bit petty. Some regrets in there. This is all petty. This is your Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter style poetry right here. I would love to do another one of these again. I don't have it planned for the third one, but we will see how well it does. Because right now, this one, I'm not gonna lie, is doing a lot better. So I don't know if it's because it's more niche in its discussion. People think this is just love poetry. It's actually the opposite of love poetry. But thank you guys so much for joining me. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, share, all the clicky button things, and I will see you guys all for the next video. Bye.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room.